All right. Happy day, Thomas. Thanks for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm good. I missed all the chaos that COVID has brought to our lives. Um, so, how do you feel that Saipan's been doing so far with handling COVID and what we've been offering?
Yeah, and so actually, as of today, April 29th, we heard that of the 14 cases, of course, we have the two unfortunate deaths on Saipan, but the other 12 cases have fully recovered, which means that we don't have anyone right now as an active COVID-19 case. And so there's a lot of great work being done by the public health and all the elected leaders about flattening the curve. And I see a lot of our community members coming together to feed each other, give each other masks, and really just support each other through this hard time. As you know, many people face furloughs and not being in school right now. And so I know people are being as resilient as they can be.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped that we hadn't, implemented a stay-at-home order so early. As soon as our neighboring island of Guam got their first case, the CNMI was placed at a stay-at-home order, and we've been at home for what, maybe a month now, or has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been right over a month, and airlines are still not having any incoming or outgoing flights for commercial passengers. So we'll see if that
Yeah.
changes. But, we also started community-based testing, so folks can register and go through a drive-through to get tested if they want, which is really exciting because I think we have enough tests for each person on the island right now.
Yeah, so that is great news that we have so many testing kits from South Korea that we can do this community, this island-wide testing, so that we can really see what our level is of COVID cases, and if we're kind of like able to start opening up again, and that would be really exciting. I know that it really has hurt us that we have not had any flights in, and tourism is our biggest industry. Um, you know, to generate revenue. And so we've had a lot of people furloughed, a lot of people switch to part-time, a lot of people just unemployed because we have lost the flights and lost the tourist industry. So, that's kind of a challenge that we face. A lot of Pacific Islands faces is not being self-sustaining and relying on that other income. So that has hurt us, but it's going to be interesting to see how to navigate that. If we are all, the community is clear of COVID, and then we start opening flights again, and our main tourist populations come from places that have high rates of COVID. So it's going to be interesting to navigate that, but that's a unique challenge I think that people don't have in like the mainland and stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of the things that the CEO of the hospital, Esther Munoz, said was, it's so not our culture to be apart from each other. And so I know that in this time, health is such a priority, but even for us culturally as Pacific Islanders, being away, I think there was one announcement, no groups more than 10, and you're talking about how that's just a regular dinner night for some people. And so really, shouting out to the community members too, who are just, staying home, listening to those calls as we try to just figure this all out.
Yeah, I think we've definitely been a great community representative of what we can do together, this collective action. In some places, you see people protesting and getting upset, especially if they're leaders who have enforced these new normals. For us, right, we have our curfew from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So after that, you can't leave your house. And that's just weird, right? It's like I feel like I'm living
7 p.m. to 6 a.m. you can't leave your house. Yeah, it's
yeah.
really
So
yeah.
we have those rules of the curfew, having to wear masks, of stores limiting the number of people inside. Some of our local mom and pop stores are going as far as sanitizing the soles of your shoes before you walk into their store. Sanitizing your hands, giving you gloves, making sure you're wearing a mask. We've had the mandate says that stores have to have one entry and one exit that are separate from each other. So we've had a lot of things put in place to kind of help us flatten this curve. And I think we've had, what did you mention the number of total cases that we've had?
Yeah, well, as of April 29, just 14 with including that pair of deaths and then the 12 recoveries, which a lot of folks were wondering about that last recovery, and with community-based testing now rolling out, we want to see, what that number might actually be in the community. But grateful to see low numbers. That's what everyone's hoping for.
Yeah. And when was the first case diagnosed, or do you remember the date?
Yeah, about a month ago, I think, right after the orders, the stay-at-home orders were given, and it was that first death that the curfew, kicked in. So lots of folks are being vigilant now and listening to the experts, and the experts are telling us, to still keep our guard up and act like it's all around us, because that's the best thing to do right now.
Yeah, and compared to our neighbors, we're still under 20 cases where they're over 100, right?
Yeah, over in Guam, it's a different situation, and they're just starting their community testing this week, and so wishing the best for our brothers and sisters over in Guam too.
Right. And how do you feel like this impacted you, maybe personally, like your personal life? How do you feel?
Yeah, well, just starting off, I'm really blessed to have family to come back to, have a roof over my head, and all my basic needs being met. So, I'm back on Saipan with my guardians, but I flew over from Berkeley, California, from where I'm going to school. So I'm going to classes all online now, early in the morning, and doing some work on the side with the news station. But other than that, I think just trying to support the people the best way I can, and for me that's kind of giving the best information as a journalist, and so trying to share the latest updates on aid, on healthcare and things like that. But what about you, Sam? How are things on your end?
Yeah, it was kind of nice to be home, to be forced to work from home. That's kind of like my dream come true. I always wanted to work from home, but I am feeling that isolation. I'm ready to, I'm itching to hang out with people and see faces and go to a restaurant and just sit down and have dinner and drinks. And, I miss that. And it's been really tough to kind of, as soon as you see that sunset, it feels like these prison bars drop. Like, oh, I can't do anything anymore. You can't do your late night food run because of curfew and the stores are closed. And it's just a really odd living situation. But I am grateful that we've had all these, things in place, because it really kept us, our number of COVID cases really low. And hopefully the turnout of the community testing that started on Monday, right, will prove that we did a great job. We're okay. So
yeah, I'm really also wanting to give a shout out to all the nonprofits and the public school system for feeding our people during this time. It's not an ideal situation, but lots of folks are also, going through that struggle to feed their families. So shout out to all the frontliners on that end, doing that too, passing out free meals and groceries.
Yeah, I see. So we also have something that's unique here is that we have the 14-day quarantine if you were coming in from Off Island. Though we don't have any more flights, we did have people that were staying at Kanoa, which is a local hotel, Pacific Islands Club, which is another local hotel. So we have these designated isolation, places for people either coming back or suspected person under investigation, right? So we do have those in place, which kind of really helps us.
Yeah, I think the last numbers I saw were that 249 people were released from quarantine from the hotels you just mentioned. So a lot of people were screened after flying in.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot. But all in the end, this will all be worth it, and we will hopefully won't remember any of this and just move forward. But in a way that we are making systematic change from what we learned, right? We know that we can't keep going on the way that we've been going on, and there's a lot of change that hopefully a lot of conversations that will be had at leadership levels on how to live a different normal and be in front of some of these things rather than behind.
Yeah, definitely important when you're living in our tight-knit community like Saipan, Rota, Tinian, and the rest of the Marianas.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about some updates of how the CNMI is doing and where we're at, what we've done, and how we both feel about COVID. So,
Thank you so much. Stay well, everyone.
bye.